person in the world, but it ain't about the worst person in the world. It's about each and every one of us. But anywhere it go, like what I was trying to tell you, it's like I heard him that night. I got the fear of him. And in that night, it's the night that he gave me grace. You know, he gave me grace. You know, I know everybody says this and we have grace automatically and this, and so much goes on so much preachers and people who where they at. For me personally, that night is the night that he gave me his grace. You know, I know he keeps us throughout our lives, and, you know, it's so much going on. People call it grace, and I don't know how that really works. But that night, he explained to me what grace is. You know, and he explained to me, first of all, mercy. You know, he explained to me mercy about Jesus giving his life and how rotten and crooked I was and the way I was living. And why I hadn't died, why I was alive to that moment, to get to that moment. And then with his mercy, while I was allowed to get to that moment, to hear him speak to me, he gave me grace. After all that pain, once that pain hit me and he told me I wasn't a good person, man, that pain hit me. And he explained to me with that pain and me hearing him speak to me, why I didn't die that night is because of his mercy. And then he explained to me how he took that pain away and why I was not overwhelmed with that pain. He gave me grace. And that grace was for me to step up and go in another day to walk in his will. To walk in his will. From that moment on, I was allowed to walk in his will. That was my grace. My grace was that right then was my second chance to walk in his grace, his will. Right then, that night. And I didn't get to the point of y'all guys, but it was, you hear people talk about the light. I was in the light. I was in that light that night. I was in that light. In that light, but being in that light, it was the peace that passes all understanding that night. Anybody ever been in county jail, prison, any type of lockup, you know that it's never ever quiet. Man, you can hear the person talking 20 cells down, man. You hear the noise, people rapping, beatboxing all night, man, just talking, chopping it up, everything, every night, all night. It's never quiet in prison. When I was on my hands and knees that night, it's a peace, it's a peace that was unexplainable. You know, it was no sounds, no nothing. It was just no sounds. I was just in God's presence. It's unexplainable. From that morning, when this goes on, I got another story to tell you guys, but there's certain type of pills that you take and you just feel antsy, itchy. You just can't sit down. You can't stop moving. I'm going to describe that to you, tell you a whole nother story about them old crazy pills and different stuff. So at these point in times, when the Spirit was speaking to me, it was like my body I just couldn't, man, it was just in a whole nother zone after God speaks to you and the Spirit, it speaks to you and tells you something. So that when the lights come on, better yet to say, I get up and everything blue that I had, I cut it up, threw it in the trash. I mean, I was awake. I was wide awake. I was wide awake. From that point in life, I've been wide awake. I've been wide awake. My life, anybody that knows me, to say, hey, this, that, you know, I've been wide awake from that point on. I know what heaven is, the way towards heaven, Jesus Christ. And I know the way that's not towards heaven, Jesus Christ, is real too, you know. And that's not the way for me. You know, it's not the way for me. And I got everything blue and stuff, you know, affiliated with that. Just threw it in the trash. And I realized I couldn't even participate like it was homeboys coming to say, cuz, let me have that blue flag, cuz, don't throw your rag away, cuz, and let me have that, cuz, over there. And, you know, and I couldn't even share the stuff like a blue pen. You know, everything, man. You in prison, anything that's had a color that's affiliated with something, you grab and hold of. Ink pens, I wouldn't even share ink. I wouldn't give nothing away to nobody, man. I just tried to destroy everything just not to be a part of that. You know, not to be a part of the destruction, man. You know what I'm saying? The work of the enemy, man, is so real. The deceiver is so real, man. He is so real. And that's what he's